Chicago, Illinois. With two teams of dedicated fans, Chicago might lay claim to being the best baseball city in the major leagues. Today, we'll focus on the one from the north side, the Chicago Cubs. They might not have as many championships as the Yankees or the Cardinals, but there's something about the Cubs that has captured the imaginations of people across America and the rest of the world. I would wager that there have been more songs written about the Chicago Cubs than any other team in baseball. The late folk legend Steve Goodman was a diehard Cubs fan, and his song A Dying Cubs Fan's Last Request puts into words the feelings of not just Cubs fans, but baseball fans everywhere. His song Go Cubs Go also plays at Wrigley Field after every Cubs victory. Wrigley Field itself is a huge part of the mystique of the Cubs. Its ivy-covered walls, hand-operated scoreboard, and the rooftop seats on Waveland Avenue have remained relatively unchanged since the days when a spurned goat owner cursed the Cubs to never win another championship. That is, until the Cubs spectacularly won the World Series and broke the curse in 2016. Tradition is important on the north side of Chicago. Wrigley Field was the last stadium to install lights, and they forced the league to exclusively schedule day games at Wrigley Field, all the way until 1988. The Cubs have been the source of traditions as well. Singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game in the 7th inning stretch originates with Cubs announcer Harry Carey. He would sing the song to himself in between innings until someone turned his mic on, and thus the 7th inning stretch tradition was born. While he started doing this while he was with the White Sox, he's much more famous for doing this in his time with the Cubs. He would lead the Wrigley fans in singing that classic song up until his death in 1998. And even now, the tradition has been carried on by guest singers at every game. Chicago values tradition in its food as well. Nowhere is that more apparent than the Chicago dog. The easiest way to anger a Chicagoan is to ask for ketchup on your hot dog. While there is no one definitive hot dog restaurant, every Chicago dog has the same natural all-beef hot dog, poppy seed bun, and the drag through the garden treatment of lots of fresh and pickled vegetables. If you live in the Chicagoland area or many other areas in the US, Vienna Beef sells all the authentic ingredients needed to make your own Chicago dog. Since I'm in Canada, I have no choice but to make my own. We'll start by cutting up half an onion into a fine mince. Cut 4 to 5 mini cucumbers in half and scrape out the seeds and liquid with a spoon. Then mince up those cucumbers very finely. Put the cucumbers and half a cup of onion into a pot and cover with 2.5 cups of water, a tablespoon of kosher or pickling salt, and mix that all together. Let that sit in the refrigerator anywhere from 8 hours to overnight. In the meantime, we'll start making our pickled sport peppers. If you can't find sport peppers specifically, Serranos or pepperoncini will also be fine. In this case, I'm using Serranos. Prep your peppers for being pickled by cutting a small line into the side of them. Add the peppers into a pot with the stems on, and add your brine by combining 3 parts vinegar and 1 part water. Bring that to a boil, then reduce to a simmer for 5 minutes. While still hot, put the peppers into a clean jar and fill it up with brine, leaving a 1/4 inch headspace at the top, and seal the jar. Keep in mind, with these peppers and any other pickles we are making today, that we are just pickling the vegetables, not canning them to be preserved, and therefore they will need to be kept in the fridge and will not last indefinitely. Once your relish mixture is done soaking, drain the mixture and thoroughly dry it out on a kitchen towel. Mix together a cup of vinegar and 1/3 cup of sugar and bring it to a boil. Add in your minced vegetables to the pot. Add 2 teaspoons each of mustard seeds and celery seeds. Bring it to a simmer and let that go for 10 minutes. Drain off the excess liquid and stir in up to a tablespoon of cornstarch until the mixture thickens up. The thing that distinguishes Chicago dog relish is its neon green color. To achieve that, we're going to add in a couple drops of blue food coloring. In this case, I actually added too much blue and had to compensate with a little bit of green. You can't quite tell on camera, but this stuff looked incredibly neon and unnatural, which is exactly what we want. You can even add food coloring to store-bought relish and get a similar result. Now, Chicago dog pickles are usually kosher dills. Start by combining half a cup of water, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1/4 cup of kosher or pickling salt, 1 tablespoon of peppercorns, 1 tablespoon of mustard seeds, and 1 tablespoon of celery seeds. Bring that mixture to a boil, then immediately remove it from the heat. Add in 1.5 cups of water and 1/4 cup of vinegar. Stir to combine, then let it cool completely. While the brine is cooling, take some more mini cucumbers and cut the tips off. Divide them into quarters or even eighths if you want thinner spears. Make sure they are spears though, as you'll never find pickle slices on a Chicago dog. Remove the stems from a bunch of dill and smash up about 5 cloves of garlic. The addition of garlic is what makes it a kosher dill, not that it's actually kosher certified. Start filling your jar with garlic cloves and about 5 to 8 sprigs of dill. Tightly pack your pickle spears vertically and cover it all with brine. We're going to put a lid on the jar but not seal it and store it in a cool, dark place for 2 to 3 days before sealing it and putting it in the refrigerator. If you like your pickles more sour, let them sit for an extra day or 2 before moving it to the refrigerator. Once those couple of days have passed and your pickles have soured, it's time to make our dogs. Mince up half an onion. Once again, you get to watch me mince up an onion. Isn't this exciting? Cut up 2 tomatoes into wedges. We're going to divide it in half, half again, divide that half in half, and halve that again. Or just do whatever fits in your bun. Speaking of buns, a poppy seed bun is a must. They are pretty hard to find where I am, so we're going to do a bit of a hack to a bunch of regular hot dog buns. Crack 2 eggs into a bowl and add 2 tablespoons of water. Whisk that all together and that'll make us a simple egg wash. Go ahead and thoroughly brush the top of your buns with that egg wash. Sprinkle the tops of your buns with poppy seeds until they're nice and covered. Pop them in the oven for 5 to 10 minutes at 350 degrees until the seeds are sticking and the buns get a little bit golden brown. Chicago dogs are always boiled, not grilled, so prep 2 pots of boiling water. One is for the hot dogs, and one will be for the bun. Add the hot dogs into one and boil them for about 5 minutes, and then add the buns into a steamer in the other pot and let them go for a minute or 2. It's time to assemble our dog, and in the eternal words of Ernie Banks, let's eat 2. I'm pretty sure that's how that quote goes, right? Put mustard on one side of the bun, add some onions, and then some relish on top of that. Put 2 or 3 tomato wedges on the bottom of the bun. Add the hot dog on top of that, put a pickle on top of that, and finally throw in a sport pepper. If you can somehow hold together this mountain of ingredients, take a bite and enjoy the game. Except don't do that yet because you forgot one essential ingredient. Sprinkle your dog with celery salt, and now take a bite and enjoy the game.